Hello boys and girls, hello. It's been a while. It's actually been nearly 6 months. 6 months since I did the last update. What happened in the 6 months? Why did I stop making videos? Like, life got in the way. I had to do things. I've been busy. I've been working. It was just too much. I just had to stop. Basically, as you can see, I am working at the moment. I'm driving as per usual. I'm doing the best I can, and I will give you an update after 6 months what happened. So what we had before is we've been going on the route of losing weight, which is still the case. Losing weight, the progress is a lot slower than I ever thought it's gonna be. Issue is I can't fit it into my life as much as I would. So it's very hard for me to decide when do I eat. It's very hard for me to decide when I have time to do exercises. It's very hard for me to keep up with any kind of calories and things like that. So basically, after the last update we had, I have been on holiday and things like that, and then I stopped basically for a couple of weeks. It was just getting too much. I didn't gain any weight, so I just plateaued basically. I stopped losing weight, and I just didn't do anything basically. I didn't eat too much. Nothing happened. Okay, I still did the exercises. The exercises are still on. Every second or third day I'm doing my gym sessions, at least 1 hour, whatever. And about 3 months ago, maybe 9 weeks ago, something like that, I actually rethink the whole thing. Is like, okay, stop, I need to stop doing this. I need to start losing weight again. So what I did for 8 weeks, I started 16-8 fasting. So I didn't eat for 16 hours. And I ate for 8 hours, and I tried to keep my calories down. Some days was really good. I did like 800 calories a day, but some days I actually went above maybe 1,800, 1,900. And I also started to do the exercises properly. So I started to wear my Apple Watch again. I started to calculate the heart rates, what do I need to do. I started to do the exercises properly, not just always weight. Since January, I've been going up with the weight, so I'm getting really strong now. The issue is with that, if you're getting stronger and stronger, you don't actually lose that much weight because you're gaining muscle, which is good, but not in my case. In my case, I need to lose weight. I need to stop eating. I just need to go under 100 in order to fly, and that's my goal. So I need to stop doing strength exercises. I love doing them. I love doing muscles, dumbbells, things like that, and I'm good at it, and I'm very strong now. But that's not the point. I had to rethink the whole concept, and that's what I did about 9 weeks ago. And in 8 weeks I lost 3.5 kilos, which doesn't sound much, but in my lifestyle that's good. Meaning, as I said previously, it's very hard for me to keep the timings under control, or even the eating habits. Sometimes I don't have the energy to concentrate on not eating carbs and whatnot. So 3.5 kilos in 8 weeks is okay. It is weight loss, that's good, but I'm still very far from my aim or target or whatever. So what happens now is I actually gonna be more specific exercise. So what I'm going to do, I have a full I'm gonna do exercise every single day. I started yesterday, and I'm doing that, and also I gonna, instead of trying to aim for the timings with fasting, I am actually trying to combine all of it at once. So I try to stop eating basically bad food, carbs, fats, things like that, and also calculate the calories. And this is how I'm gonna do it now. I'm using AI to maximize the speed of the process. Even then it's gonna be difficult. Like first day yesterday, I had a really nice exercise. I love doing exercise. That's a good thing now, since I've been doing it since January. I don't mind doing it. I just need to try to sort out my eating habits, and but it's just difficult. Anyway, the point is I'm doing it, and I'm doing, after the first 8 week I see that I can do it, so I'm gonna speed up the process, if it makes any sense. So it's gonna be easier from now on. That's about diet. Yeah, this is the first year, so this is a slow year, not much happening. I just losing weight, and I just try to speed up the weight loss journey, basically. That's about exercise, weight loss. Okay, the other very important happened. I had my first own flight. It was my birthday in July, and for my birthday, from my wife and my friends, I got a present, which was 1 hour flight in a PI 28, a Piper 28. It was amazing. I'm gonna do probably a separate video about the Piper experience. It was absolutely amazing. What happened is I was very humble. You know, some guys like, oh yeah, I fly MSFS. Yeah, don't worry, I can land your plane. Don't worry about. I wasn't like that. I don't think it's true. I think the experience is totally different. Saying that, what happened is basically first the guy was like, yeah, let's go. Where you want to go? What do you want to see? Things like that. And I started to drive the conversation towards flying. I didn't. It was beautiful views and beautiful landscapes and everything. Yeah, that's very good. But my main thing was flying itself. So he was like, "Oh yeah, you don't want to make pictures." I was like, "Nah, I don't mind pictures. I just want to fly the plane." That was the main goal for me. And he said at the beginning, "Okay, you know what's gonna happen? As in him, he's gonna take off. He's gonna go up to cruising, and then I will take over. And then once we cruise, descent and landing obviously is his." And I said, "Fine, perfectly fine. I don't mind. Even if I gonna handle the plane for 10 minutes," I was like, "Oh my God, that's gonna be amazing." So what happened is I was trying to put myself into the seat. As you know, usually they use Cessna 152s, 176s on this kind of experience flight. But in my case, we had to use the Piper, big boy, 133 kilos now, which means, I lost kilos, but anyway, 133. But it was still a challenge for me to get into the seat. It's tiny planes, like it's tiny. It's although it's bigger than a Cessna, but it's still it's a tiny plane. I managed to put myself into the plane without holding up any controls and things like that. So anyway, as soon as we got in, I did mention to him, like, listen, I love planes, I love flying them. I did some rounds around I did some circuits. It was in Red Hill, so I said to him, like, yeah, with this plane I did some circuits a couple of days before. I was trying to prepare myself for it. I know the controls and things like that. Anyway, we started taxiing, and he was like, you know what, just stay forward, just stuck to the plane. So I was like, what now? Yeah, and he was like, yeah, you know, I had a brother and thing. I was like, obvious, yeah, I know, don't worry about it. So as soon as we started, I was started to taxiing the plane. We stopped over, you know, we had like little conversation, what's gonna happen, blah 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 blah, and then we took off. Finally, we took off. We went up to 1,200 feet, and then he was like, "Here you go, just take the plane." I was like, "What?" So, you know, panic settles in straight away. I'm full focus mode. I took the plane in control straight away. It was very easy for me to do. You know, I was checking all the measurements and whatnot. You know, where we flying, how we will, you know. So I got flying for 30 minutes straight. I did everything, you know. We flew over Guildford and then went over to my house and then turned back, and then we went to Dunsford Airport. We went around, we went up to Croydon and then back to Red Hill. And all the way through, I was flying the plane. Oh my God, I couldn't tell you how good it was. Oh my God. After a while, he was letting me use the throttle as well, so I had to put how much RPM we're gonna have, and you know, when we were going up, because it's a very busy area. So sometimes we had to go above 2,000, sometimes we had to go under 1,200 when we were close to Gatwick. So it was up and down, right, left, everything. Oh my God, I couldn't tell you how. Now it was absolutely amazing. So this is what we did, and the funny thing is, we started to do. He was like, okay, we can do two things. We can go a slow descent, or we can do a dive descent. Well, which one you want to do? I was like, obviously dive descent. Why not? And then I was expecting him to, okay, just give me the controls and we're gonna dive down. Instead of that, he was like, okay, let's get going. You see that junction. We had the junction ahead of us. He was like, you see the junction? Okay, aim to that. I want you to be 1,200 by the junction. I was like, okay. And then I pushed forward. We went down. It was absolutely amazing. We were going like 140 knots. It was about 800 feet a minute, 700 feet a minute. It was a dive on a little plane anyway. Yeah, and then we went down, and then he was like, okay, let's join the downwind. I was like, oh, all right. It was traffic in the air, so I just followed the other one. I followed into downwind, and then he was just on ATC. Yeah, let's go. We are the second, whatever. And we was chatting, and then he was like, you see the airfield? I was like, yeah, of course, I can see the runway. Yeah. Turn on it. I was like, okay, turn on final. Okay, let's go. Turn on final. We were on final. And then I was, you know, every second I was like, okay, he's gonna take over now. He's gonna take over. And he didn't. I was literally flying the first time I ever flown a plane. First time I'd ever been in a lightweight aircraft. And I was literally doing the final with my two hands. And then we were just like aiming to the runway. And then, it was quiet, windy as well. Of course, when you open the flaps on a lightweight aircraft, it's go crazy. So it was absolutely amazing. I was aiming, going, and I was like in my head, just keep going, like, oh my well, when is he gonna take over? And he didn't fucking take over. And I was flying, and he was just like chatting to ATC. He was keeping me on, like, okay, do this, do that. You know, he was absolutely amazing. He was basically, it wasn't an experience at that point. It was more like a training flight. It was beautiful, and so we were going down, and then on the last second before touchdown, I didn't flare enough, yeah, because I never had bloody controls in my hand. Of course, I have a joystick at home, but that's nothing compared to that. Anyway, the last second, he saw I didn't flare enough. He flared the plane back. He landed softly, and it was amazing. I was this close to crying. It was amazing. It was the best experience of my life. We parked up I was just I couldn't, after that I couldn't talk for an hour. And that's when I realized it's like everyone is looking for one thing in their life, which is everything, yeah. And a few lucky people actually find that, and I think I did now. So I know my life's calling now. I need to fly. I need to be a pilot. So no matter what, I need to fly. Even if it's just a PPL, even if I just do my PPL and I fly once a month, maybe I do my instructor license or whatever, I need to do this. Like every single penny I gonna have in the future, it's going to be for the PPL. It's no question. There's nothing in my life which interests more anymore. It was a life-changing experience. It was absolutely amazing. And oh my god. It was the best thing I ever did in my life. So yeah, so I'm back here now. It was about 2 weeks ago. I had to think about what happened and what's gonna happen in my life now. And so it's gonna be a slow process, like it's ever been. The first thing I have to do, although I might have some money now, or I don't have any, but even if I had, I couldn't fly a plane now because I'm fat. So in the last couple of weeks, especially since the flight, I'm just fully on. I'm full on concentration mode. I'm literally doing exercise every single day. The only thing I cannot bloody control, no matter how hard I try, is the timings of my eating and what I eat. Because I don't know, maybe I just don't have enough self-control in the matter. Like, I just need to focus. I need to do it properly. Some days I'm really good, as I mentioned before. Some days I did 800 calories, which now I know I shouldn't have done, because then just my metabolism just slowed down to the basics, nothing. So I just need to control my intake, and I need to lose weight, yeah. So for the next couple of months, this is gonna be the main topic. We all know why. There's nothing I can do to make that differently. Even I can fly in a Piper, okay? It cost me more than a Cessna, okay? But it's very difficult for me to be comfortable in the seat. It's just, you sit like this, yeah? It's a tiny plane, lightweight, whatever. So anyway, stick with me. I will give you updates every week about my weight loss, and I will give you some generic news about aviation or whatever. Anything happens, I will definitely give you an update. I also gonna make a proper video about the flight I had, from the start to the finish, everything what happened in details. So stick around for that. Funny thing, FYI, the GoPro they used, obviously we had a GoPro booked in for the flight. It actually stopped recording in the moment when we were taking off. So it stopped recording, and it started recording when I was already flying. So we lost about 10-15 minutes of flight, but I will tell you what happened in that 10-15. Not much happened. It's just basically we were going up. Yeah, simple as that. So stick around. I love you all, and I will do lose this weight, and we will go flying. Yeah, this is the future. I will tell you now, we're gonna be up there. I don't care how, no matter what. I tried to use the lottery, or I don't care. At this point, I don't care anymore. I know what my life calling is, and it's not Uber driving yet. No. Although I'm okay with it. Yeah, it pays the bills, but my life is gonna be flying. So stick around for that. Thank you for staying, and I love you all, and look forward for the flying video. Couple of days, who knows, busy man. Bye.